Hey everybody, Box90 here with day 8 of Journey into Nick's Spoilers, and I'm sorry it's been a little bit delayed. I've been busy the last bunch of days, and I may be busy on and off the next more. I'm traveling, but I will try my best to continue getting the spoilers up as quickly as possible, and today we have a whole bunch. Let's jump right in. Because they're awkwardly placed on Empty Salvation, I'm just going to use Mythic Spoiler, and we're going to just run up the whole list of what I remember we haven't done before. Such as Disciple of Deceit. It's 2 for a 1/3 with Inspired. When it comes untapped, you may discard an online card. If you do, you search library for a card with the same converted mana cost, reveal it, and push off your library. So it's interestingly costed. I mean, it's decent maybe for control, but I really don't like Inspired. Most of the abilities they put with Inspired, Lord Midas being an exception because the Midas guy, he's I think pretty awesome. But this one I don't really see being all that good. It's an interesting tutor, might see some play in EDH, but I don't really see it making a big hit elsewhere. Nyx Weaver, 3 for a 2/3 Chapman Spider Reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, put top 2 cards, so you mill yourself 2. 3, exile it, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Interesting card. It definitely messes around with dredge and reanimation kind of effects. I like how it connects with Farika. I think it'll be an interesting card to play around. I don't quite know how powerful it will be because honestly, Jund slash Golgari, Dredgy kind of things haven't been that powerful in Standard for a little while. So it'd be interesting to see if anything comes of it or if it's any good in that sense. Then we've done a bunch of these before. I try not to miss any. Sedesting Tactics, I don't know if we briefly mentioned it, but it's actually one of the better strives, which is why it's rare. It's very well costed. Any number of target creatures give +1 and has the ability to fight, so it acts as a double form of removal for very cheap, and it also has a heroic trigger, and it gives 1/1. So it's very well scaled, very well costed, amazing for aggro, and will be really fantastic beatdown. If you pull it unlimited, it's unbelievable. It may see some constructive play if heroic ever becomes anything. It's a good card, amazing and limited. That's the real thing to think about. Then we got here, Aegis of the Gods, 2 for a 2/1 rare. You have hexproof. Wow, okay. This is really nice. It's kind of like Spirit of the Labyrinth, which we just had last set. It's interestingly costed, weak on the toughness, works okay maybe in aggro. The main thing is it really slaughters Storm. It really hurts Storm decks. And I like that they're printing these kind of weird cycles that deal with various forms of combo damage and also really helps you out against powerful win condition kind of spells. I think in EDH Commander it could very well see play as a utility, even though it's not. We've had cards like it before, like things like True Believer, which is not so. I mean, it gives Shroud, so I don't know if it's exactly as powerful. But this one is a little more splashable, and I do think as a shot, as a human, it does definitely, I think, has a shot of seeing some play, but it is like a fragile body with an interesting ability that's definitely constructed playable. We'll have to see if it actually feeds its way into any sort of weenie decks, maybe as a sideboard or something. Golden Hind, 2 for a 2/1, that taps for added green, so it's kind of a worse Llanowar Elves kind of effect. 2 mana, honestly, these are the kinds of things you want on a 1 mana creature. If you're going to be running them, you'd prefer that. And it's not big enough body. If it was like 2 for a 2/2 with that, maybe, but I don't love it. That's why it's common. Battlefield Thaumaturge, awesome art. And this was we actually saw in the event deck, and it's blue. 2 for a 2/1 human wizard. Each instant source spell you could cast costs 1 less for each creature targets. Okay, so he's basically the make things cheaper lord for Strive is really what he's here for with heroic. Whenever he casts a spell that targets him, he gains hexproof. So that's interesting. I think that would be a lot more relevant on a more powerful creature. The fact that the heroic effect really works well, the fact he makes Strive cost a lot less, and then the Strive can target him and give him hexproof, definitely think he's very flexible. It'll be very interesting to see if he does well in limited, or maybe even some, maybe, I don't think he's going to be a tier 1 card. I don't think he's quite powerful enough for that, for tier 1 decks, but he could definitely see some FNM play, I think. Very interesting card, I like it. Banishing Light, it's O-ring with unbelievably gorgeous art. This needs to be foiled over and over again, and I need lots of these foil. It's absolutely amazing. Then, we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll go over here. Strength of the Fallen, 2 for an enchantment constellation. Whenever it or another enchantment, you target creature gets X+X, where X the number of creatures in your graveyard. This again works into that kind of dredgy reanimation, graveyard manipulation theme, and maybe could work well with some of the cards we saw, like such as the one we just talked about, the spider thing with the grave, making your grave a valuable resource. Cool. Bearer of the Heavens, 8 for a 10/10 giant. This is the Atlas card of this set, pretty much. He's holding up the universe, or the heavens and the earth. 10/10 for 8. When it dies, destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. That is fun. That is really fun. I think it's very splashable. I think EDH Commander players are going to love this card. Yes, it destroys all permanents, which is a bit of annoying. I don't think it's powerful enough to be banned because it has to be played and then killed. And it is almost, in a sense, a way of, I wouldn't say giving it unblockable, but making it a very not want to be killed target. The flavor is awesome. The art is awesome. I think it'll be really cool in EDH Commander decks, but that's pretty much the place it would see play. It may see some hate, though, so I'd be careful just shoving it right in. Daring Thief, 3 for a 2/3 with Inspired again. You may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target permanent your opponent controls that share the same card type with it. Okay, so these cards are kind of interesting. It could work well in the right kind of deck in terms of the fact that you want to manipulate your smaller things into their bigger things. The fact that it's a non-land permanent. Again, the Inspired is a lot of a drawback. We'll have to see if that actually makes it worth anything. I don't love it. It could work very well. There are lots of group hug decks, and Zedru particularly in EDH Commander, this card would be very, very nice to work with. But for most players, I don't think it's going to be, most of the time, fantastic. Let's go to a bigger version of this. Deicide, the coolest card, I think, coming out of Theros. 2 mana, instant speed, exile an enchantment. If exile card's a god, you search its controller's graveyard, hand, library for any number of cards, exile them, and the player shuffles to the library. It is done. So this seems to imply that Elspeth in the story, doom, Xenagos, goodbye. Is he dead, or is he exiled? It's presumed he's exiled. Maybe he's thrown out of godhood. The card itself doesn't give away what exactly happens, but presumably she is somewhat successful in her errand to deal with Xenagos. The card itself is raw flavor, gorgeous art. Foils are going to be, I think, expensive, if only because they're so cool. And it could be a very good sideboard card. May see standard play. It really hurts the gods. Will definitely hurt mono blue devotion. I like it a lot. It's probably my favorite card in many others coming out of the set, even though the set has a lot of other good stuff. Then, do we have anything else that is new? I don't remember. We have the fonts. I don't really like them. To kind of give it my general thoughts, I think they're very overcosted for what they are. They're really just enchantments which work with Constellation. I think that's the main reason they're here. They're limited enchantments. I mean, they're expensive, and their effects are on better cards. So that's the main place I see them, although, of course, the arts are amazing. Then we have Harnessed by Force. I don't think we mentioned it. The art's, again, amazing. Flavor's great. It's a little expensive, but for a threaten effect in limited, that's why it's rare. Could be absolutely fantastic, and that's really where I think it'll see play. Brain Maggot is one of the most disgusting arts in anything, and it's interesting. It's kind of like Mesmeric Fiend. It locks away an opponent's card. Interesting. It could be very good and limited. You take out your opponent's best thing. I don't know if it's going to see much play elsewise. God Hunter Octopus. It's a 5/5 that can't attack, blah, blah, blah. It's one of those generic octopi. Maybe limited. That's it. 10th most High Priest. Heroic. Return target creature card with command cost 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. This could work. I like this card for the Heroic. It's one of the best Heroic enablers, I think, in the set so far. And I love how it gives you, as an aggressive deck, advantage in limited. Really cool. Dictate of Erebos and Dictate of Heliod. Dictate of Heliod is pretty horrible. I think it's a junk rare, and limited it's bonkers, and maybe EDH, but that's about it. Dictate of Erebos, however, is a really interesting Grave Pact. I like how you can flash it in, and the art is just so cool, guys. This set is amazing. Alright, so those are all the spoilers that we have for now, the last couple days. And I'd like to hear your thoughts about them. It's quite a few, so put your comments down below in the description. If you enjoy the video, tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, check it and subscribe, and I'll keep you updated with the rest of the Journey to Nyx spoilers. I'll also be doing a pre-release or pre-pre-release going over of strategies, decks, what's going to go on with the pre-release and such before the pre-release, which I hope to attend as well, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. Thanks for watching as always, guys. RoxBox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.